Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful light. In this lesson, I want to get into some very interesting information that I just ran into. Because the last video I did, I want to bring out some information on this very same website called writingthebeast.com. I was going to bring that out, but the Spirit led me to this information. That led me to other information that I found to be very interesting. So Lord's willing, this will be very edifying, and Lord's willing, this will just solidify the point that Revelation 13 and 16, the MOTB is what the apostle and elders of Great Millstone say it is, which they are correct. It is a small implantable device that the elites want to go under your skin. And Lord's willing, this video is edifying to solidify that point. So I will say, when you go to this website, writingthebeast.com, this man, probably most likely a Edomite, a Christian Edomite. So you have to be careful with certain things that he brings out, because certain things that he brings out are, off and things like that. So be careful, chew the meat, spit out the bones. But there's one point in here that's very interesting. So as you can see there, for the sake of, not getting the video taken down, but you understand what I mean, you can read the title right there, MOTB, in the hand or forehead. All right. And if you see the word, the R to the D, a four-letter word that's capital, that begins with a capital R and ends with a capital D, 4 letters. Let's just say in this video, I'm going to call it the device, or the implantable device, right? So it says, as mentioned before, the popular spiritual interpretation for the MOTB, which there's no spiritual interpretation, it's a physical thing that they want to put inside you, is that our foreheads represent our thoughts as mentioned before, the popular spiritual interpretation for the MOTB is that our foreheads represent our thoughts and our hands represent our actions. This may be a good start. No, it is a bad start. It's not the correct interpretation. But presented alone, it falls short of the physical implications of a MARK that is required to buy and sell, which is correct. It says, ask yourself, where is the most logical place to put a tiny device? We're also going to replace that word that you see there with device. Where is the most logical place to put a tiny device that is injected under the skin, used for payments, and only operates within a couple inches of a reader? The hand is obvious. Literally, payment with the wave of the hand. Now, this is the point that I want to, this is the part right here. It's likely that for security, the device reader called an interrogator will require a secondary means of validating a person's identity. That validation might occur through the fingerprint or iris at the same time the device is read in the hand or forehead. Both forms of biometrics are already routine in the security realm. Is it mere coincidence that Revelation describes the MOTB being in the hand or forehead? So I'm going to read that one more time, right? And then we're going to get into it. It says, it's likely that for security, the device reader called an interrogator. So what is an interrogator? Now I went into, just did a simple Google search, right? So let's go into what is a interrogator, right? I believe this is the website right here. Yep, this is it. So this is it right here, right? This part, it says interrogator functionality, right? Or it's also called a reader. It says interrogators right, also called readers or transceivers, read and write data to and from tags. I'm going to say that one more time. It says interrogators, or it says also called readers or transceivers, read and write data to and from tags. Where have we seen that word write before? I'll read it. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in the right hand or in the forehead. And when you go to that word, the M-A-R-K word in the Greek, it's charagma, which many times we've always said charagma is basically what? As it says here, a stamp, imprinted mark, right? Thin carved sculpture, graven work. So basically a cutting into the flesh. And when you go into the root word of charagma, it's charax, which is a pale stake or palisade, which is the sharp instrument, right? So the modern day charax would be the syringe, the needle, and then obviously it would do charagma by cutting into your flesh. And the root word of charax is grapho. I'm gonna go one more time back to this, right? This is the device's interrogator. It's called an interrogator, or it's also called a reader. I'm going to read it one more time. It says, interrogators, also called readers or transceivers, read and write data to and from tags. Grapho. It says to write with reference to the form of letters, right? To write with reference to the contents of the writing. It says to commit to writing things not to be forgotten. Write down, record. So this device interrogator or reader is able to what? Read and write data onto it. You don't believe me? Okay. I looked up this as well. As you can see right there, just so you can see it, what I Googled, it says, does a, again, device reader hold data? The device in a tag can store as much as 2 to 8 kilobytes of data depending on if it is disposable or reusable. The device reader retrieves the data stored on a device tag by sending and receiving radio signals via the antennas. The reader then passes the information in digital form to a computer system. Is this starting to make more sense, that this is a physical thing that they want to put inside of your body that is going to be able to read information? Because that's essentially what technology. Now, I'm not a computer guy and things like that. I should talk to my uncle, because my uncle gets into computers and things like that. So I should have a conversation about this with him. But that's essentially what technology does. That's what computers do. They read and write information. How do you think that your credit card, or let me just use a computer to be exact. How do you think the computer is able to have all that data and everything stored on it? It's able to read, like if you have any bookmarks saved and things like that, it's able to read and store that. It's able to write data also on your computer and things like that. That's what technology does. It reads and writes information. So this, like the elders and apostles of Great Most have been saying, what? That small implantable device is what is going to have what? Your social security. Again, things not to be forgotten. What are things not to be forgotten that's going to be able to help you function in society? Because in 17 verses it says what? Let's just go to it real quick, and then we'll come back to this. Right? So let's go back again. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, which is going to be an actual device, the size of a grain of rice, that they're going to use a syringe to put within the body, either in the right hand or in the forehead. But really, it doesn't matter so long as it goes inside someone's body, right? And it says, and that no man might buy or sell. And when you go into that word buy, the root word of it is the agora, which is the marketplace, place where you conduct business and things like that, right? So going back to verse 16, now that we understand what buy means, basically to attend the marketplace. So you can basically go to the grocery store and buy your food. That small little device is going to have your things not to be forgotten. What? Your money on your card, your information, your social security, whatever identification number that people are going to have, whatever identification number that's going to be like the new thing or whatever, because now it's like your, what is it, your social security number or whatever, right? So that device is going to hold that data on it, right? Write down, record, right? Where to go? All right, yeah. Things not to be forgotten. It's going to hold and store that data on it. How can sin hold or store data on it? Things not to be forgotten. How is sin going to help you? Like I said in the last video, if you commit 5 adulteries, is that going to get you 5 pounds of fish? Does that make any sense? But what, a device holding your information, again, you know, your ID number or whatever, your social security number, your money on your card, all these are things that what is going to be able to help you function in society. That's going to be able to what? Help you buy and sell, specifically your money on your card and, you know, like your social, because, you know, that's pretty much how you're identified in society. If you don't have that, then it's like, who the hell are you? So you see how this is making more sense for it to be a physical, something physical and not something spiritual, as far as many men have come out and said it's hegemony. If I'm saying that word right, hegemony. Some men have said white. So you mean to tell me a white woman is supposed to make you not forget things? The white woman's gonna hold data for you? You know, the whole thing about the right hand and the forehead. Something about that. You salute with your right hand, and I don't know. No, it's a small implantable device that's going to hold your information, and we're seeing that right now by going into it. Says again, the device in a tag can store as much as 2 to 8 kilobytes of data, depending on if it's disposable or reusable. The data reader, which is also called an interrogator, and I'll get into that word as well, retrieves the data stored on the device tag by sending and receiving radio signals via the antennas. The reader then passes the information in a digital form to a computer system. So there you go. It's a, what you call it? Let me see, what else did I have here? Okay, I have 2 more things. So let's go into where is it? Let's go into interrogation etymology, which I found very interesting. So this is interrogation, right? Let me make sure. Okay, yep. Right, and remember, it's in that Writing the Beast article. It said that the device is called a device reader, or it's also called an interrogator that's inside of it, right? Now I'm gonna go to the bottom. Get out of here. I don't need all these ads. Let me see if I could highlight this. Yep, there we go. Well, I don't want that. Right there, what I just highlighted, right? Matter of fact, let me do a better job of that. I want you to see this. It says no denying this at all. There we go. This is interrogation. This is the etymology for it, right? It says apparently a figurative use of a pi verb, meaning literally to stretch out the hand. And isn't that what people that they show in movies do? They stretch out the hand, and then the device is in the hand, and what happens? They read it. I believe even when you go to the grocery stores, if you use your debit card or credit card with the little device in it, the little device that's in. You should know it's in every credit card at this point. I believe that remember hearing one of the workers say, "Oh, you could put your card in the reader." I think that's what it's called. It's called a reader, that basically scans your credit card. And what does it do? When you put your card in the reader, it reads your card. It sees that it's there, and then what? It writes off money off your card. Let's just say, for an example, you have $500 on your credit card, right? And you buy like $100 worth of grocery, right? So you'll be left with 400. That little reader right there reads your card, and then what? After it's done reading, it writes off $100 off your account. It takes off $100 off your account. And then the same thing, if your employer wants to put money on your account, they have to write money onto your account. Now, they're not actually writing it, but depending how many hours you work and things like that, they have to write, your however much money they need to give you onto your, however much money needs to be written on your card is going to be written on your card. Slacky, I'm getting tongue twisted a little bit. Slacky, your employer, when he pays you, that money has to be written on your card, which let's just transfer to the small implantable device that John the Revelator saw, is going to be written, things not to be forgotten, on that small little device that John the Revelator saw on the island of Patmos. So you see again how it's making more sense. It says what? Apparently a figurative use of a pi verb, which verb means an action, right? You're doing something, meaning literally to stretch out the hand. Stretch out the hand and do what? So then what? They can have their little reader read the device in your hand or in your forehead, but let's focus on, since it said stretch out the hand, and what? It reads the information on your hand. And then they're able to write things either on the either on the device or off of the device. So please, Lord's willing, this is all edifying. And also, Eldai Tazwam, if you at any point see this video, you have a green light to set this, to share this video with the congregation, with the sheep. Because this video is it right here. You cannot, when the Lord led me to this, I'm like, this is undeniable. You cannot tell me that this is not a physical device. So Eldai Tazwam, again, if you see this video by any chance, you have the green light to share this, because this is it right here. This is showing you that it's a physical device that they want to put in your hand, and that device is going to be able to store your information, store your data, because that's what the device interrogator, as it's called, or reader does. It stores data on it. If this information is not good enough for you, I have more information. Let me see, because I have all this stuff saved on my laptop. Because this is like a relatively new phone I have, and I don't know how to bring up multiple tabs. So let me see. So after that, let me see. What's this one called? Give me 1 second. Okay, so where did I go? Okay, I think that was it. Okay, and you can even look this stuff up for yourself. See what I'm putting in Google. What does a device reader do? The 4-letter word, right? And I went to this one. Where is it? Yep, this one right here. It says, what is the 4-letter word? I'm even scared to say it just in case. But so you see that 4-letter word is an acronym for radio such and such, which means the 4-letter word is a wireless non-contact use of, I'm going to just say this, radio frequency waves to transfer data and identify objects, animals, or humans. Yes, humans. Even when they tell you, oh, this isn't supposed to, this device won't track people. So then what does the device do? Because I remember Aharon, I remember, this was a video a while ago, but I remember him saying that they always have to give that disclaimer of, oh, this device doesn't track. So if it doesn't track, what the hell does it do? Because what's the purpose of this device that you're bringing out then? The device has to do something. It can't do nothing. Now, we're not going to watch that video. Can I get that? Okay, thank you. Get off the screen. Get off. You cannot help me. You can help me by getting... Okay, fuck it. I want to get this off the screen. Okay, where was it? Yeah, this thing is like irritating me being there. Oh, did I just... Okay, thank you. Fuck. That was irritating me. Alright, I'll read this part and then we'll go to the next part. Four. So it says, how does the 4-letter word work? It says tagging items with device tags allows users to automatically and uniquely identify and track inventory and assets. God damn it, it's back. The device takes auto ID technology to the next level by allowing tags to be read without... There's that word again, read, or write as well. It says allowing tags to be read without line of sight and depending on the type of device having a read range between a few centimeters to over 20 meters. Okay, so that's really... Okay, this right here. Number 4. Okay, this is going to be an irritation, isn't it? Come on. I need number 4. So what, is it not letting me do that? So what's the issue? I could do it on my laptop. Is this thing like... Okay. So which one did I go to? Slovakia, just give me 1 second. Yeah, I remember going to number 4. It was 4 that I went to. Why is it not allowing me to click it now? I don't get why it keeps... Okay, so it's gone, but it took me to... So hold on. Which one did I... Give me 1 second. I need to find this. So which one did I go to? Is it this one, maybe? Okay, it was this one. Okay, so lucky about that. Okay. So it says 7 things you can track in hospitals using that device. It says, introduction. Healthcare as an industry is becoming more and more invested in device technology, so much so that recent market research has revealed there will be exponential growth of device technology in that industry by 2021. Well, we're in 2 years later, 2023. So one of the reasons that implantable device is expanding considerably in the industry is the sheer number of applications that can benefit. In hospitals that have been outfitted with the technology, the device is present in many forms, from tracking of surgical tools to tracking patients and staff. Below are 7 common device applications being deployed in hospitals all over the world. Right? I'm just going to read this part, and then that'll be it. I'm not going to go into all 7 parts of it. So it says medicine and pharmaceuticals. Actually, isn't there another part? Okay, it was that part as well. Actually, no, it was this one I really want. Right. So as you can see there, it says patient and staff tracking. But really what it is, as it says at the bottom, people slash attendee tracking. Because that's essentially what they're going to do, track people. It says currently, hospitals are using passive device technology as well as instances of active device, that small implantable device, to track patients and staff throughout hospitals. Patients and staff are outfitted with that 4-letter word tags in hospitals primarily for 3 reasons: to verify patient information, which is what John the Revelator, Revelation 13 and 16. That's what it will do to verify information. And in order for them to verify information, what has to happen? You have to stick out your hand, just like when we went to our word interrogation, how it said also meaning to stick out the hand. So stick out the hand, and what? They're going to have some reader to scan to see the information on that device that you have within your hand. It says to verify patient information to reduce wait times and bottlenecks, which will also be promoted as a benefit, like the same thing that they have today with the tap and go. You just, tap and go, and it's so they're going to make it as a convenience, just tap it and go, and you could be on your merry way. Yeah, you tap and go to get on a crowded bus or a crowded train that goes nowhere, or to be stuck in traffic. Yeah. And it also says to locate patients, right? To locate people. Because yes, this will track you. This will be able to identify you. This will be the new form of identification of people, the new way of tracking people as if they are cattle. It says passive four-letter word systems are frequently used for maintaining and verifying patient records on wristbands. Patient records, do you say? Oh, I mean, that's funny. I think I've seen that same word here. Oh, it says to commit writings, things not to be forgotten, to write down, record. I mean, my God. I'm surprised I'm seeing the same word here. Wow. This is like new. It says these four-letter word wristbands have patient information printed on them, huh? Isn't printed meaning like write as well? Wow, write down. Isn't print meaning to write down as well? Wow, it's just like, this might as well be the scriptures right here. And patient records are stored on the tag's device. I almost slipped up there, or associated with the tag's ID through a database. Information encoded on the wristband's tag is an optimal way of identifying patients because it can help in emergency situations, seen as a convenience, by ensuring patients are not given the wrong medication or sent to the wrong area in the hospitals. Or people could just do their jobs and make sure it doesn't happen. But okay, everybody's lazy these days. Lives have been lost due to accidents where patients' files were switched. Again, if you would just do your job correctly, that wouldn't happen. Important information encoded on the wristband, such as allergic to nuts or date of birth, as you can see, that's 7/29/80, could play a critical role in the patient's outcome. So, as you can see, this is how they're going to be able to track people, and they're basically laying this out as a convenience. It's going to be able to, let's, not leave it in the hands of man, because, man could, slip up and write the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. But technology can never do the wrong thing. Technology will be able to store this information, store the records that are not to be forgotten, and, will, oh, okay, that notification bothered me. When it's written down on that device, you won't be able to misplace that information. The same thing again with like if you have a wallet, right? And what you call it, you have your, everything in there, your social security, your credit cards, whatever else might be in there, money. You lose that, you're pretty much fucked. You pretty much feel like you've lost yourself. But if they bring this device out and say, hey, it's going to be in your hand, well, how could you lose your hand? Well, one way you could lose your hand is if people chop it off, which I speaking as a man, I think people are going to do that in the last days. Desperate people who don't have money is going to stick people up and chop off their hands and try and take it. That's just me speaking as a man. I'm not trying to sound funny, but I just personally feel like that's going to happen. Because, hey, if you don't have any money or you don't have access to food, but somebody else does and they have that thing on them, if you don't have money on your thing, but they do, it's like, well, it makes sense to threaten them. But if they say, no, I'm not going to do it, well, then chop off the hand and take their hand and be on your merry way with whatever they got. That just makes sense to me. But that's just me speaking as a man. Not trying to be funny at all. Just something I meditated on. But yeah, it's going to be seen as a convenience. So, again, Lord's willing, just want to wrap this up. It's at this point, it's already undeniable anyways, but going through this and going through pretty much what that device, it's basically how it works and its capabilities, we're not like Elder Yashwamba always says, you're not just saying things anymore. When like he uses the example when him and the other brothers that he labors with, they would say, "Oh, this man's the devil," and at first they were just saying it, but then after laboring in the truth for so long, they realized that okay, Esau Edom really is the devil. And when you get into this information, like I was saying about how the device works, it really makes sense about how it is a physical device that the elders and apostles of Great Millstone have been saying, that it's actually something like what John the Revelator saw, because he actually saw a vision of this, that what it's going to, again, when you go into the word, I'm gonna do it one last time. Okay. Charagma, what is basically a thin carved sculpture, graven work, which is basically cutting. The karax, which is basically the pale or stake palisade, which is just the sharp instrument used to charagma, which is to cut into the flesh, which is going to be the needle. And then when you go into the root word of karax, which is grapho, again, that device that's going to have what? Things to commit to writing on it, things not to be forgotten, to write down, record. It's going to have that data that's not to be forgotten up on it. So that way, when, again, like the device's name is called, it's either called a 4-letter word interrogator or reader. When you stick your hand out, and we went to the word interrogation, it literally said to stick the hand out, right? When you stick your hand out, they're able to read and what? Either write information on that device or write information off of the device, things not to be forgotten. So you see how it all makes sense to it being a physical device and not a, as certain people have said, white women hegemony, Christianity, sin. It's all promoting to what? A physical device. And one last thing before I end this video, there was still a little bit, I think a little bit, couple more information on that website, Riding the Beast, that I want to go back into. But I just want to get into that main part of the first paragraph. So let me go back to Riding the Beast real quick. So let me see if I can find that, because I think there was like another. Okay, so I'll like bring out these points right here, and then that'll be it. So it says the VC, this company, manufactured and marketed by Applied Digital Solutions, has already been injected into the upper arm to be used as payment in place of a credit card. The Baja Beach Club in Barcelona, Spain, the Rotterdam Beach Club in Netherlands, and the Bar Soba in Glasgow, Scotland have already successfully introduced this device implant as a form of buying and selling. And you see what he's using examples here of what? What is this? A Baja Beach Club. Now, if it's a beach club, beach club is where you have a good time, drinks. What are you going to do with this small device? You're going to buy drinks. And people are going to be able to sell it to you because you have this device within your hand. The MasterCard Pay Pass contactless payment watch includes the 4-letter word / 3-letter word MC. Their slogan is tap and go. The popular music festival Lollapalooza has employed a payment bracelet for several years. Visa has even introduced a payment ring. Now this part, I think there was maybe one part at the end. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Okay, I believe it's this part here. It says in a modern technology-driven world, the MOTB makes a lot of sense as that small device in the hand or forehead. The fact that the VC or that device, whatever that word you see right there, has already been used for payment and is implanted in the body, sets it apart from all other candidates for the MOTB, both past and present. Technologically speaking, an implanted device is a natural step in personal identification, and And where there is identifying technology, there is security, especially when money is involved. Again, buying and selling. So yeah, this was the last part that he said here, because I had to skip through certain things, because certain things he says kind of go off. I think in that upper part he was saying something about how if they put it in your head, they could probably take it out, which, no, once you get it, that's it. I mean, even if you do take it out of your head, the best thing is to not take it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just, I mean, this after this information, it's pretty much undeniable that what John the Revelator saw is a small device in the hand. But like the brother Bakwar was mentioning in the video I just recently watched, but I think he did like yesterday or so. Even though we know all this stuff, it's still, we have to pray for the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua to be upon us, to deliver us from these things, so that way we can, not take, because yeah, it's great that we know what it is and that we're able to identify it, but we're also going to need the spirit to resist it. And this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Now, what is the word? The scriptures, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of these scriptures, right? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? And patience also means to suffer. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, because it's going to be a great temptation to take this. Even if you know what it is, just because you know what it is doesn't mean that's not going to be a temptation. I mean, in certain instances, that might make the temptation even greater, because that's where the mind will sometimes even, which is demons, try to persuade you to go off even more. And that may not make sense, thinking about like how, if because there's a saying in the world, if you know better, you do better. But sometimes always knowing better doesn't mean that you're always going to do better. And that's where the spirit needs to override the flesh. That's why it says here, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So although people can see that it's coming, and when I mean people besides us that know, that are in this faith, know about the MOTB, although they can see it happening, it's still going to try them. So even if you know that it's coming, it's still going to try you. And that's where we're going to need Yahweh Shai to put his spirit, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, to put a spirit upon us, to put his spirit upon us, to, basically rock out. Basically, even if we don't eat, even if, things are bad, we still got to, stay faithful to the Lord and not, give in. We're supposed to be that chaste virgin. I believe I have one more precept. Nah, I thought about that. I believe it's Sirach 33, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord. Now, not having food is evil, because that leads to what? You starving out and then dying a horrible death. But to the elect, Lord's willing, we are of that number. To the elect, there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord. What is that? Isaiah 33 and 6. The wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Right? So there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again will he deliver him. So even when you're tempted to go off, the Heavenly Father will deliver you out of this. He will deliver his elect, again, Lord's willing, we are part of that, out of this trying time, out of this hour of temptation that will try the whole world. And when it says world there, it means in the oikomany sense, meaning the entire world. And actually, just one more precept. I'm not trying to make this long, but just one last one. This is 1 Corinthians, which is one of my favorites. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There had no temptation taken you but such as common to man, meaning that there's nothing that you have went through in life that nobody else hasn't gone through. Everything is common. There's somebody on earth that has went through the same thing you have went through. So if there's a lack of, again, famine, and there's a famine, there's no food, the Lord has caused famine to happen on the earth before. So that's common. So people going a couple of days without food is not something that is new. So if we go through these things, we shouldn't think of this like, damn, why is this happening? Damn, what the hell am I going to do? This is something common that the Lord has done, because we have the stories, we have the scriptures that tell of the Lord causing famine before. So any temptation that we feel, whether it be, uh, being hunger from, from a lack of food, this is all common, right? There's nothing new. I mean, even Ecclesiastes, the first chapter say, see, is there anything been new? It has been before of old time. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So he's not going to put more on you, that he's not going to give you anything more than you can bear. He's going to give you what he knows that you're capable of bearing, because the Lord created us and he knows how much we can take. Now, yes, sometimes the Lord it may feel like the Lord's kind of pushing you over to that side, kind of tipping you, but it's really to just get that little extra eye, you get that extra strength, If you ever played like sports and, sometimes we had to do like 100-yard sprints. I used to play football, coach would be like, push it, push it, push it. And you have to, you get that extra energy out. That's sometimes what the Lord tries to do. He tries to get that extra energy out of you, but not to kill you or break you, but just to get that extra energy out of you, to show you that, hey, you can, you can deal with it. You can go through it. So again, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So the Lord's going to make a way, an escape plan, whether it be, leading you somewhere to food, or, somehow, hey, you just deal with it. There's times where it's like that, where sometimes you just got to thug it out. You just got to, like my friend says, you just got to go through the mud. You just got to, you just got to deal with it. Sometimes it's not going to be like, not saying not a deliverance, but it's just like, sometimes it's not going to be a moment where it's like a relief. Sometimes you just got to go through it, man. There's just no other choice, especially for, like, imagine those men that may have to get their head chopped off. There's no, even Yahweh Shai, like, not saying he got his head chopped off, but look at Yahweh Shai. He prayed to the Father 3 times, but he didn't get an answer, because you just had to go through it. There's no other way. This is your path. This is your walk, and this is your story to glorify the Lord. So for some men, hey, you may have to go a longer period of time without food, and it sucks. It doesn't feel good, but you got to thug it out. And regardless of whatever happens to any of us, as we're going to go through Jacob's trouble, we all have to thug it out in our own way. We all have to go through it and grind through it through the Spirit. So just wanted to add that little point there as well. But yeah, that's the video. So, I'm not too sure what I'll, name the title of this video, but, again, Lord's willing, this video is edifying. And I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachai, Quadash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the whole elect. Shalom.